in Las Vegas, 17-7 Raiders. John McMullen live in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. Johnny Mac, Miles Sanders gets carted off the field. What do you know?
Well, the Eagles listed as an ankle injury. I can tell you that Miles seemed very upset, had a towel on his face as he was getting carted off the field. So we're still trying to get clear on that, but it certainly doesn't look like he's going to return. And obviously, that's going to be an issue for the Eagles because they had a great opening drive. A lot of that had to do with Miles Sanders coming off the mini bye, a more traditional look, if you will. Jalen Hurts under center, traditional handoffs to Miles Sanders, low play action to Dallas Goedert, and then it ended with an angle route from Kenny Gainwell over the middle of the field for a touchdown. Pretty much everything we talked about that the Eagles haven't been doing offensively, they did on that first drive. It was very successful. And then from there, nothing. 52 yards. So they get off script and it's right back to normal. And obviously it's going to be even more difficult now that they're playing from behind again. And we always say that's not what the Eagles want to do with Jalen Hurts at quarterback. They don't want to have to step back and throw the football and try to catch up to a team like Las Vegas, who, by the way, Derek Carr had, I think, 2 incompletions in that entire half. One was completed to Avonte Maddox. The other was at the end of the half to Hunter Renfrow. And by the way, it's tough to tell from our angle, but I think Hunter, who's a very smart player, I think he dropped that on purpose because he knew the Raiders had to kick the field goal and there was no use catching the football in the middle of the field. So this bend but don't break Eagles defense worked once when Avonte got that interception, but it hasn't been working outside of that.
John, I have to tell you, and you'll see this when you go back and rewatch the game, if you listen to the network crew working the game 3, 4, 5 times, maybe more, identifying how vanilla the defense is. No change, no pressure, no nothing. Derek Carr just sitting there at will, at one point 16 completions in a row, and the defense just making no adjustment at all by their coordinator.
Yeah, it's a lot of cover too, and you see that the Raiders, who haven't been able to run the football, got a little bit of a running game going because they were running against those 2 high safety looks. And you got to be fair, it worked. That was the whole plan with the Raiders' first drive. They were going down the field. They had the big play to I forget the receiver. It was about a 42, 43-yard reception. They looked like they were going to tie the game, and all of a sudden, Derek Carr forces the football over the middle of the field. You have the interception. So that's what the goal of this defense is: force offenses to go on these long drives, and ultimately they're going to make a mistake. That's the thought process. Too often, though, the Eagles have not forced that mistake. They forced it once today. They've had, I think, 5 interceptions over the past 3 games, so they're getting a little bit better at creating turnovers. But yeah, for people who want an aggressive defense, and obviously that's what Philadelphia wants, they're not getting it with this group. They're just not. They don't have the talent on the back end, and the goal is to play a lot of zone coverage.
Zay Jones, by the way, was the receiver who went up and made a great catch on that 43-yard pass from Derek Carr on that drive. The halftime score, Johnny Mac, 17-7. I guess it could be a lot worse and could get a lot worse because the Raiders will get possession of the football following that turnover by Gainwell. So instead of a 2-for-1, it might be a 3-for-1, depending on what they do with their opening possession in the third quarter.
Yeah, and that's what you do. That's what you kind of hope for when you defer, when you win the toss and the Raiders do. you're hoping for that sandwich score at the end of the first half, take the football at the beginning of the second half and score again. And they were able to get the football at the end of the first half due to the Kenny Gainwell fumble, which was sort of a bang-bang play. Certainly looked like, from our view here in the press box, his knee was down, but it's probably one of those plays that if they said he was down on the field, they would have stuck with it. They said he fumbled on the field, they stuck with it. So that was unfortunate for the Eagles. And that was a big play in the game. It's, one score versus two scores is very big in this league, especially when you have a young coaching staff that seems to, I don't want to say assume, but seems to think two scores means you have to pass the football pretty consistently. So
John?
You can kind of forget about the running game in the second half, especially without Miles Sanders.
John McMullen, we'll see you on the live post-game show tonight with Derek Gunn, Mark Farzetta, Devin Caney, right here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel, also on 6abc.com. John, if there's any way for you to do this, buckle in. It may get ugly by the time this thing gets over.
It's Vegas. It's never ugly in Vegas, Krausey, if you know what I mean.
I love it. Great stuff from John McMullen. We'll see Johnny Mack on the post-game show. Thanks, Johnny Mack. Good stuff. This halftime report, all presented by Stateside Vodka. Go to statesidevodka.com. Use the keyword JAKIB. 15% off a 1-liter bottle. We'll see you right back here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel for the live post-game show with Derek Gunn, Mark Farzetta, Devin Caney, and of course, John McMullen reporting live from Vegas. We'll cover it all in the post-game show. Until that time, like, share, and continue to subscribe. See you next time.